What is going on, Trash Talkers? We are back with another episode for you. Today, we're going to talk about James Wiseman. And look, we came out with our video not too long ago about what we should expect from James Wiseman this season, and I think he's kind of proven us right so far, but I believe that his progress has actually come a little bit faster than we expected. So we're going to take a look back at what James Wiseman has done through the first quarter of the season and project what we think he's going to do moving forward. All that and much more coming your way right now. All right, Nick. Well, I'm happy to say that I'm pretty surprised that James Wiseman has progressed so fast, but I think it comes from that school that you were talking about. If you want to reiterate for the folks at home.
Yeah, as you all probably know, we have a guy named James Wiseman that is taking some master classes at a school called Draymond Green University.
Interesting.
And,
Never heard of that before. Thought he
well,
went to Memphis.
yeah, I thought he went to Memphis too. Well, this is where he's getting his master's degree. And by the looks of it, he's doing a pretty good job, I'd have to say. And, it might take some hard schooling, but he's getting there. He's getting there, and he's turning into a pretty solid player.
Slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely. You know what? If it weren't for Draymond Green getting ejected last night, I can only imagine what James Wiseman would have done in that game against the Knicks, right? He put up 15 points in that game with Draymond Green on that court, teaching him, helping him out on the defensive side of the ball. I think James Wiseman would have had a much better game and improved on the previous game where he set his career record for points in one game. I mean, James Wiseman is learning a ton extremely quickly, and it's all because of the help of Draymond Green. He's teaching him so much about getting in position, looking for the ball constantly, just finding open opponents, reading the defense, and learning how to work in the system that Steve Kerr has built so he can thrive, because James Wiseman is a different animal than the Golden State Warriors are used to. They don't usually have a 7-foot center on the team. And now that they have one, they're trying to utilize him to their best abilities because he is a guy who can shoot from all over the place. And James Wiseman is starting to show them everything that he's capable of, but it's going to take Steve Kerr, Draymond Green, and the rest of the team to help him unlock all of what he is capable of. And so James Wiseman, he's on the road to success. I really believe that he could be on the road to being the next Joel Embiid, who, by the looks of it, is going to be the MVP.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. James Wiseman has the skill set to get there, and with Draymond Green coaching him up, he might be able to get there faster than we expect. My only contention is that he is offensively sound. I mean, that was never the question. It is his body big enough to bang around with some of the bigger centers, especially in the Western Conference? And defensively speaking, he's not as stout as some people would like to see. Granted, he's 19 years old. He's still growing. He's still a kid. You know, I don't want to be too harsh on him because I really like what I've seen. It's just he needs to get bigger in the offseason. He needs to get stronger. He needs to put on some muscle. He really does. He's got to anchor some weight down. I think that he'll be able to help out with that. If you look at Joel Embiid's stature, he is just a thick boy all the way around. I mean, he really is. Just his arms, his legs, everything about him, he has a really good base on him to be able to carry his height really well, which allows him to stretch the floor and just do a lot of things that pro centers need to be able to do in today's day and age. So James Wiseman being able to shoot the three ball, being able to stretch the floor from any point, works really well in a system with Steph Curry and Draymond Green. And adding Klay Thompson next year will definitely help take some of the scoring necessity off of him for sure. I believe that James Wiseman it is a great fit for Golden State here. I just don't know if I see him with them long term, and maybe that's a conversation for a different time. But I think this year is going to be showcasing him. It's going to be showcasing Andrew Wiggins. I think it's going to be showcasing some of their side pieces to show what they can do, and then bring in a stud player that really isn't liking the situation that they're in or whatever the case is, that they're going to try to acquire some form of compensation that will garner, a lot of these talent levels put together. So James Wiseman definitely has a very strong skill set, will definitely be somebody who is successful in this league, but right now he's got a couple things to work on. And then if you were to take a look at, at the rookies that were drafted, obviously he was taken number 2 overall. You take a look at number 3, LaMelo Ball out in Charlotte, who's not even starting. He averages more points, he averages more assists, he averages more rebounds. So I mean, you have to take a look at all of these numbers here, and then if you take a look at his player efficiency rating, they're very similar. LaMelo Ball has a 17.8, while James Wiseman has a 14.7, and but the win shares, LaMelo Ball accounts for almost one full win so far this early in the season, where James Wiseman's win share is at about a point 0.4. So, I mean, they're being able to do on the floor is completely different, and it's not the best way to talk about a player comparing them to somebody who's not even in the same category as them. But when you're taking a look at these two players and their skill sets and their growth and how they're going to be in this league, James Wiseman definitely has some improvement to do, because if you're falling to LaMelo Ball in rebounding, you've got a lot of work to do, especially as a starting center in the Western Conference.
You know what? That might be a little harsh on James Wiseman, especially when you compare him to LaMelo Ball, because LaMelo Ball is a positionless player, but James Wiseman is a true center. You're not going to expect many true centers to take hold of a team right away and get them wins. And I believe that James Wiseman is going to get there for the Golden State Warriors. I believe he has all the tools necessary to win and help them. And I believe you have to have the same mindset that the Philadelphia 76ers had with Embiid, right? It took them years to get Embiid where he was, and look where he is now. You just got to believe in the player, believe in their talent, and just know that one day it's going to click. I mean, can you imagine what James Wiseman would be doing right now if Klay Thompson were on the court? His numbers would probably be better because he would have less responsibility on the defensive side. He would be able to get more open looks. He would be able to run more pick and rolls. I think James Wiseman, with a fully healthy Golden State Warriors team, he can be extremely dominant. So there's so much to look forward to here.
Yeah, I mean, again, I said it was going to be tough to truly put these two players together, but when you're talking about a center in what they bring to the table, he needs to be able to gain more rebounds. He needs to be able to spread the floor, not just shooting wise, but assist wise. Like, if he's going to be out on the perimeter and opening up shots for different players, he needs to be able to be a multifaceted threat. So, and again, this is criticism for because I know what his potential is. This isn't because I think he's a bad player. It's simply what I expect to see from him to reach the levels and the heights that I expect him to be at. I believe that he will be a perennial all-star in this league. I believe that he will end up being an all-pro in this league. It's just a matter of time, and I'm being harsh on him now with the criticism because in my mindset he's not anywhere close to being the type of player that he's going to end up being in this league.
No, absolutely not. And I wouldn't expect that from a guy who's only 15 games into his career. I
Right.
mean, James Wiseman, 19 years old. He's going to be around a long time. He's going to learn a ton, especially while Draymond's there. You know that he's going to learn a ton. Draymond has been a defensive stalwart for years, and he's the reason that the Warriors have been to so many championships. Part of the reason, at least. And
Right.
James Wiseman is going to be the next reason the Golden State Warriors get to another championship.
It'll definitely be a show to watch. Again, there's a lot of really good centers in the Western Conference specifically. On top of the fact that there's a lot of good competition all around the league, I'm really happy with where the league is at a spread out talent standpoint right now. So I'm excited and cautiously optimistic to see where James Wiseman can end up leading the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, just hopefully they can keep the pandemic under control. It seems like it was getting a little out of control early on and starting to look a little bit better. So hopefully it stays on this path.
For sure. You know what? We can only put positive thoughts out into the universe. So, with that being said, make sure to like this video. Thank you all for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Over 75% of you are still not subscribed to the channel. What are you doing? Okay. We have a comment that we're going to feature here, and that was from Barry McCockiner. You can read it down below. But essentially, we're going to start featuring your comments. Make sure to comment. We're going to feature you guys in upcoming videos. Hit that notification bell to be notified every time we go live with videos out every single day. That'll be all for now. Have a great rest of your day. Peace and love.